I'm
think I like
recording.
to backup record. Hold on.
Yeah, sure. Oh boy.
You two fuck. Okay, ready to hit the record button whenever.
I'm recording.
Alright, you can go ahead and hit recording, Zypher, if you haven't already.
Yes, we are on.
Okay. Alright, welcome back to another session of Lord of the Stars, or Lord of the Stars, Rogue Trader game. I believe this is session 4, a main session.
5.
5, that's right. We did have that interlude session with. So session 5. And to kind of recap last session, we were a bit lighter last session. We had I believe Achilles, we had Umbria and Asterius all kind of working out the logistics after capturing and moving the other ship back to Footfall. Some repairs were enacted, but several snags were met along the way. Namely, the docking facility that they chose ran out of parts, so they were considering traveling through warp travel, going back to Port Wander in order to collect parts, bring it back, and help speed up the repair process. A captain was appointed to the second vessel. Vorkul was made into a captain by Achilles to lead that former renegade crew, what was left of them. Other concerns with the crew is that there aren't that many left, and they're not particularly pleased with being almost cooked alive. So morale is a bit low on the other ship, and there aren't that many on the other ships. There are several concerns with this new ship, logistics-wise, and that's kind of where we pick it up. Is on the outskirts of Footfall, while the rusty frigate, as it is in the bay with halted repairs. That's where we'll pick it up. You may RP now.
So, okay. We'll say Darius, during the ship repairs and the good bit of downtime, has been off brooding on his own. And he finally emerges from his isolation and his penance. And you can see that there are almost tiger stripes across his scalp as he has flayed strips of skin over his bare skull, and you can see that the pink flesh underneath has healed and scarred into a dark maroon color. It gives him a very kind of even more menacing appearance. And he goes into the cargo bay and looks around. Are there any menial laborers anywhere?
That's pretty much most of your ship personnel, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, in the rusty frigate, there's they're kicking around a bit. Some of them is the people who are actually working on this ship. Others are crewmen. Obviously, the former pirates. Are you on board the main ship or the new ship?
I think the main ship probably.
The main ship. Oh, yeah, then it's all House Thorne men, so they're all rather prim and proper, doing their thing and getting things sorted out.
He finds one's kind of scurrying past him though. The most pencil-neck looking person, and kind of grabs him and says, "Hey, you! Come here, grease spot!" reaches out and grabs the guy's collar and lifts him up. There's this camera pans down. You can see the guy's feet is like kicking kind of 3 feet off the ground. And he says,
Yes, sir.
"Find me Helios. I need to have words with him."
Of course, sir. And he just kind of looks down at the ground, waiting for you to let him go.
And he starts to drop him, but then, "Oh, sorry about that." Sits him on the ground and dusts off the guy's collar. "Don't know what got into me." He smiles, and you can see that he's missing most of his teeth, and what's left is black and rotten.
He says, of course, sir. And then he just kind of gets up and hurriedly moves to one of the Vox, intership Vox communications radios, and kind of signals up to Helios, who I imagine is on the bridge or in your room, or where are you looking?
Yeah, Helios will be on the bridge.
My Lord Khan.
Yes. What is it?
This is cargo hold 6. Lord Darius Mordecus wishes to speak with you.
Points over his shoulder. "Darius the Destroyer."
Darius the Destroyer, sir.
Yes. Henceforth, remember, fool, Darius the Destroyer. Anything less, and I will cast you into the void. Remember.
There's a pause for some time. Yes, my Lord Khan. Darius the Destroyer, I will not forget.
I'll be on my way.
Thank you, my lord. I will inform Lord Darius the Destroyer. Disconnects from the Vox. My Lord Darius the Destroyer, Lord Khan is on his way. He will be here presently.
"Oh, very good. We're along now. Sorry to bother you, mate."
Yes, my lord. And he just kind of snaps a quick salute and buggers off. Handle his inventorying.
Darius just waits there. Yep.
On the bridge, he is looking at the rusty frigate, and the more he looks at it, the more angrier he gets. It's incomprehensible to him as to why voidfarers on that ship cannot get it fixed in time for us to be on our way.
Damn pirates. No good meat bags. I wish Lord Thorne would let me impale every last fucking one of them. But no, we need warm bodies to keep that piece of shit junker alive. So be it.
And then he steps away from the wheel and starts making his way down. Eventually he gets to cargo bay.
Brother Darius, you beckoned.
Darius is down there just in the middle of the cargo bay, kind of looking around, making everything is running smoothly. And if anyone looks like they're potentially slacking off, all it takes is a bit of a snarl and a glare from Darius to set him straight. And as Helios enters the cargo bay, Darius stands very tall and straight. "Oi there, Helios, my lord." He gives a bow. "I dare say my penance is complete, my lesson learned. Where's Lord Thorne? I'll never again leave his side. And I've got the scars to prove it. And the pain.
Brother Darius, no need for formality with me. You have ruined yourself in battle more than once. Lord Thorne, I believe, should be in his quarters. I did provide your penance to him. I believe he was pleased, but you must speak to him as well.
Oi,
We all have lessons to learn.
oi. And, Darius nods and looks a little less formal. He's still, he carries that muscle tension in his body of trained killer, but then he goes on to say, "So, what's next for the crew? Now that we got ship number 2.
Ship number 2. More like shit number 2. That piece of crap can barely keep itself afloat in space. We need parts. We need repairs. If our lord is to call himself an admiral, we need a working ship. And we are far from it. Whatever wretches remain on that ship are beyond useless. We need a crew, a better crew. But let us make our way to our Lord and find out what his plans are."
That's a damn fine idea, Helios. Let's go. Let's find her. Sounds like we have our work cut out for us.
Indeed we do.
Fall in line and head to Thorne's cabin.
We both make our way to Thorne's cabin, and Helios will knock hard on the door. He has no subtlety.
A voice from behind the door. "Come!"
Helios enters.
Lord Thorne,
"Ah, Helios, yes.
the repairs on the ship are moving slowly, and I cannot get those girls to move faster without destroying them. Do you have any further orders in this matter?"
I know you're doing your best, Helios. I guess we'll just have to give them the time.
Permission to speak freely, Lord Thorne?
Of course, Darius.
He continues, "I'm sorry and I apologize. I'm not as silver-tongued as this one here. But we can wait here all fucking day. We can wait an age. What are we going to do when the next band of pirates shows up? Now listen here. They could set upon us with this rusty bucket. We'd be defenseless. No, we need to be proactive. Pirate and plunder the plunderers, I say."
Yes, I like this idea.
Have you interrogated any of the crew last session or not?
No, we were mostly focused on logistics last session.
So, logistical question. This whole sequence started with us doing an arms deal and then coming after the ship that did the deal with us. So, technically, we have been paid and now we have access to those arms.
No one's actually looked at the cargo yet, so you don't really know what you've delivered.
Okay, cool.
Lord Thorne, if I'm not mistaken, we are here because those pirates scum made a deal with us. They have merchandise that we brought them. Maybe it is time to see what the deal was all about.
Excellent idea.
We should, if Lord Anais is available and Asterius, make our way to the cargo hold and see what it is that we sold.
Excellent idea, Helios.
Darius nods. It's great to stretch my legs after all that time down in the hold. It's nice to get some not so fresh air.
Achilles kind of squints a little bit at Darius. Gives him a slow approving nod.
Let's go check out those weapons.
Has intoxicated him. Lord Thorne, he is becoming one of us.
I
He is
see.
becoming the ship.
So I suppose on the way down, like, Asterius would be somewhere right around there, seeing them coming. Fellow lords, where are you heading off to?
To see what we plundered, Asterius. To see what the deal was about.
The deal.
Indeed. We dealt with the spirit scum. Now we have exterminated them. We hold both quarters. What are the profits here is the question.
Well, I know what we brought them was some type of psychotic drug that pumped them up. Whatever they pulled off the ship before we got there. We have no idea. Even if they got anything.
Psychotic drug. That sounds interesting and possibly useful.
Yeah, I found that out when we were at the bar, before we had to have that talk. You know, when I was using my fancy words, as you say.
I was using my fancy fist.
No, they didn't pull nothing off the ship, right? Is that what the whole thing was with the bugs that were in there, Ghost?
Not that you're aware of. You're not aware that they plundered anything. Based on the tapes you looked at, it appeared that they were trounced rather soundly by the bugs on board the Navy ship.
Okay.
Also, I don't think that anyone else would know what we're talking about. So,
No. So, well, Lord Thorne would. Lord Thorne, I don't recall if they pulled anything off the ship. There was quite an infestation off the naval vessel. Yeah, so looking at to Darius and Helio.
Infestation. More pirates. Is that what you're talking about, Asterius?
I wish those would have been easy and fun to deal with, I'm sure. No, this was an alien species.
The void holds many such wonders and mysteries. What did
Yes.
it look like, these alien species?
Well, there were two of them, Helios, and one sort of looked like a giant flea.
I can show them to you here. You guys would have Vox images, or not Vox, but you guys would have picked images of them. available. I'm sure it would have been in the data banks from your looks. Let me go ahead and bring that up.
I would say, because I don't really remember what they look like.
Darius looks up at the hologram or the image that pops up.
Jesus fucking Christ! I've only seen something like that one time. And it was between the legs of a lady of a night down there in Footfall. Bloody disgusting.
Disgusting and huge.
And smelly.
So as you can see, we didn't go to the naval vessel. Didn't really want to have a shooting competition with those teeth.
No. There is no profit in that. It's a naval vessel. It's a naval problem. Let us report the location and let the Navy deal with it.
They say I agree. Don't look to me like them creepy crawlers have pockets filled with money.
Why waste our crew, our resources on a vessel we cannot commandeer? The Navy's
Exactly.
gonna take it back anyway.
Exactly right, Mr. Khan.
But tell me, Asterius, those drugs, what would they fetch us instead?
No, would have to give us a tally on how much was used. That is quite the price, because I know the deal that we had with them was cheap compared to what they really were.
Pirate scum. Do you think you have contacts that can move this truck for us, Asterius?
Depending on the condition. What am I saying? Of course. There's always somebody who wants some drugs. In fact, maybe if we get to it, we could cut them and cut them and make our pockets even heavier.
Ah, Asterius, you mean to dilute this drug? In essence, double the quantity, quadruple the profits.
Exactly. I care not to test it afterwards, but a planet full of pirates, I'm sure you would not mind being sickened and killed by our concoction if it proved to be fatal.
A weak human who cannot keep his senses in control does not deserve our mercy.
Although I hate to waste some of the possible usage of some of those weak humans. But money in our pocket and off we go. I'm sure we could expedite some of our repairs if we have more.
Lord Thorne, do you agree that we sell these drugs and make a profit?
Achilles smiles broadly. Why, of course, Helios. That is what we do.
Indeed, a good day
perhaps we should go take stock.
Where should we go, Asterius? Where in this vast, vast void would you take us to sell these drugs? After all, Aeneas needs a destination to plot.
Well, if you want the quick one, we're already here. We can just drop him off at Footfall. Plenty of pirates, plenty of scum to want it.
Any objections, Lord Thorne?
None, Helios.
Very well then, Asterius. Let us take stock of the drugs.
Right away. Now, with the Asterius start going down to see what kind of stock of drugs there are. If Helios coming with them, he could use some counting help.
Yep, Helios will go down with Asterius.
Me too.
Oh, and if it's risky, take Darius too.
Yeah, I say go.
Well, I mean, you guys are just going to the other ship. So, I mean, if you... Now, it would be understandable why you wouldn't feel comfortable necessarily. But, yeah, no, they're... It's just to the Rusty Frigate, because I don't think you transported the cargo back over, so...
Yeah, not as far as I know of.
Darius, do come along. I find it most enjoyable when I see those pirate scum quake in their boots at the sight of you.
It'd be my pleasure. Although I don't think I'm the scariest looking one on this ship.
He kind of looks at you and walks past the navigator's chamber where Aeneas is in there looking at star charts. And Darius looks at Aeneas's head scarf over his third eye or whatever it is and kind of shakes his head.
Gives me the willies.
You're saying this to Aeneas, or did
Just
you go?
Helios, like you're probably
Oh,
like
okay.
in the thing. You probably
Yeah,
can't hear us.
Yeah.
Yes, our navigator is a man of many talents and many atrocities. It was quite a sight I shall not forget. The opening of the eye, the trembling of the pirate scum, and their eventual demise. Sweet, sweet scent of their demise.
Helios makes his way down, starts transporting over to the Rusty Frigate.
All right, so it's Asterius, Helios, and Darius, right? Are going off over?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys taking the teleportarium?
Yeah, whatever's quickest. I think that's the quickest way.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Are you announcing that you're coming over, or is it just popping in?
That Helios looks at Darius and Asterius and smiles, just popping in.
All right. So you go down to the teleportarium. Oh, I need to get a picture of this fucking thing. Hold on. Let's see if I can find one because I know I said I would. If not, we'll get it for sure next
It's
time.
the most important part of the ship. It's what makes us, what binds us.
So when we get there, is there a role I could do?
Whoops. Whoops. Sorry.
That is the third eye opening right there.
Ah!
That's exactly what those pirates read and lost their mind.
I've slept
Yeah.
with the Matrix.
Oh, I found it. This looks good. This is nice and religious.
Beautiful.
Wow. I should have done this sooner, but I had to. I was like, oh, this is used. This has been the most traveled part of the ship by a long shot. So let me
When
whip
you
this
got the
fucker
goods, you
out.
got to use it.
Exactly. that's a house Thorne. Like that's the best investment that Thorne Senior ever made was this thing. Okay, let's get this fucker out. Even if we're just gonna be here for 2 seconds, it's absolutely worth it.
No one was ever sure how Thorne Sr. got into and out of his mistress's apartment unseen.
But everyone knew he nearly bankrupted the house to do it. It's a little bit smaller than we might have hoped for. We'll say that platform can fit quite a few men on it. It goes further back. Go ahead and
Yeah, it's a matter of perspective.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you all approach here and prepare to head over. And of course, the same man who always works this station, who has been here, this is his only job, in fact, is to make sure that this runs smoothly. He kind of looks at all of you and, where to?
The rusty shit bucket. Right over there.
Aye, as you wish, my lord. He winds up some screens and... Please keep yourself contained within a teleportarium. Wouldn't want to miss any appendages on the other side, would we? And he winds it up and... Just brings you over. And where are you going under the ship? Just right into the cargo bay and the bridge, or...?
Wherever Asterius would have suggested that we can take a look at the cargo.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going Asterius? Right into the cargo bay?
I mean, unless you guys want to take stock of how they're doing on the ship, on the way to the cargo bay, I would just assume just go to the cargo bay.
Yeah, let's go to the cargo bay, and if things doesn't seem as it should be, we can head to the bridge.
Okay. Go ahead. Bring you direct in. So you warp in and end up on one of the railings in the warehouse as several renegades are around working, quote unquote. Just moving boxes, some with purpose, others absent-mindedly. Others are playing cards and they see you kind of poured over, and there's a bit of a stir. A few of them rise from their chairs. Other ones who were working see you and then continue their work.
Mm-hmm.
So Helios looks at the folks who are playing cards.
Fools. We do not pay you to play. Work, or the void will be your only solace.
They kind of look at each other and fold their respective hands and start going around to move boxes or otherwise look busy.
See, Darius, this is what I meant.
Oh, you inspire fear and respect wherever you go, Helios. I can take a lesson. Like my pappy always said before he met his miserable end. Look around, Darius. You can learn a lesson from even the lowliest of men and the gnarliest of women.
Asterius, lead us. Which boxes should we look at?
I imagine it'd be in the same boxes that we brought them in, but I'm not sure if they would have changed them or not.
One of the pirates that are ex-pirates, excuse me, one of the crew sees you guys kind of looking around and walks up and good afternoon, my lords. Something I can help you find in this place?
Yes, I'm sure you can. We're looking for the cargo that we brought here before he decided to come raid the ship. I believe it's full of enhancement drugs.
Oh, yes, that stuff. Come along then. I have it stored in Section A, lines 6 through 19. Please, if you would. He kind of waits for you to follow him. He starts walking towards it with a data pad in his hand.
Seems to know his way around the cargo bay.
Helios would like to just, what's the word I'm looking for? Scrutiny or awareness into this person who's taking us?
Are you trying to determine if he's telling the truth or just
Yes,
kind of his
yes.
demeanor? I think that's scrutiny.
Okay. Skill test. Scrutiny. Submit.
Okay. Yeah, he seems earnest. He doesn't seem like he's lying to you.
You do seem competent among this sorry lot. Very well. Show us the way to these boxes.
Of course, my lord. Yes, I know my way around it. Been on this ship for near 30 years. Was here before stupid Jeremis was in charge.
Are you in charge now?
Oh no, my lord. I wouldn't want such responsibility. I'm happy keeping my cargo. Sorting through that. Volcool, or Captain Volcool, apologies, can certainly have that job.
But are you in charge of this here area? Do you keep it running smoothly?
As smoothly as I can. Mind my manners, but I work with what I'm given.
I understand. Hopefully, we can get a better crew than some of the sorry lot.
Well, I think most of my issue is that so many of our men are in the burn unit. Lost about 75, near 80% of my men to them fires. All due respect, that was a rough go.
Indeed. But now imagine this. You're one of us. And as we plow through the void, what do you think happens to what stands in front of us?
I imagine they get on board or they get out of the way. You'll get no complaints from me, my lord. I like a tight ship in my section.
Indeed. And those who stay with us will always prosper. So think of it this way. Your luck has turned, my friend. Turned for the better.
All due respect, my lord. I'll believe it when I sees it. I've heard it before.
Yeah. Darius kind of walked behind him and kind of leans over his shoulder, and the man can feel the heat of Darius' breath on his neck and smell the reek from his breath and his unbrushed teeth.
Just consider yourself lucky, lad. Coming across Lord Thorne's like, finding a bit of money on the sidewalk. Or finding a dame in a bar who's not ridden with pox. At any rate, your luck's turned up. Just keep your head down, nose to the grindstone, and you'll be rewarded. Don't give a thought to tomorrow. These busybodies who walk around complaining, they'll soon find themselves on the wrong end of my fist. Got it?
Well, like I said, you'll get no complaints from me, my lords. It's running just fine as it is. Hopefully it gets better. If not, I'll make do. Here we are. He kind of looks and... There you are. 6 through 19. How many crates? And he's going through the data slate. And one of you can roll me a D3, please.
Go ahead, Asterius.
Roll it up every day.
You guys know how my rolls are, right?
There you are. Yep. I've
Middle
got
of the road. There you go.
200 crates accounted for.
200, you say?
Yes, my lord.
And I suppose that their full crates haven't been tampered with.
Well, we received 225 from you. When we tried to board the ship with the Gribblies on it, well, we had a fair bit of boarding parties do a lot of this stuff. And then, we burned about 25 crates worth. Shouldn't have been that many, but Jeremis was passing it out like candy.
And he'll kind of stare at the crates and follow a little data pad. Now, is there something I can roll to figure out the value?
Well, the first step would be to figure out what it is. So, do you have anything that's remotely related to chemistry?
Hey,
This goes for everyone. You can see if you have chemistry. I think it's trade chemistry. If you don't, you have your intelligence, and you can roll that to see if you've just experienced or been around it in your life at some point.
Just intelligence roll.
Yep, just a intelligence roll, and then we're gonna cut the target number in half as far as what you're trying to roll under, because it's an unknown skill.
Yeah, I don't have chemistry.
See, if you want to know, you can roll. You try to roll under your half your intelligence. So you can roll that from the sheet. Okay.
This is not going to be good.
No, you never know. Some people get lucky. But you were a smart guy, Stereo. Oh, okay, not for this.
I don't mind.
Darius. Oh, let's see if he knows.
Almost, Darius.
Yeah.
Oh, he was actually probably 2 degrees off. Yeah, because it was half of that. Yeah, so he was kind of close. Let's see if this guy knows. Outlook not good, but I say he can roll at value. No.
I don't even remember if they mentioned it while we were at the bar. I just know its effects.
No, all they said was get you psyched. Yes, I mean you guys come through. You're not really sure what it is. All you know is what you know about what it does.
Seems the problem is that without knowing exactly what this drug is, the value would be unknown to us. We could be forced to take a raw deal if we do it as is.
I say, take a sample with us. Bring it back. Let somebody smarter than us figure it out.
While we're at it, let us transport all the 200 boxes back to the Rose.
Splendid idea. Safer keep it.
No use letting it sit around here. It's going to spoil. And I don't doubt some of these crews will be dipping their nose into the stuff.
Never, not in my hangar. I'd cut
No.
the noses off.
Oh, a man after my own heart.
Well, either case, we'll take all 200 cases to the
About that time, a crewman with no nose walks by.
Yeah, one of the guys playing cards sniffles and a bunch of blood and snot comes out. Oh, very well then. I'll go ahead and, well, you've got that teleporter thingy, don't you? You don't even need a shuttle set, do you? Or would you like me to build this set of shuttle to send it over?
No. We shall use the teleportarium.
Very well then. I can give you the exact coordinates for where it's at in the ship if you give me a moment. That way it'll make it a bit smoother. Won't have to make multiple trips with that thing.
Helios would know the coordinates of the teleportarium, right? So,
Yeah.
So he'll exchange the coordinates.
Ah, there we are. And he kind of hits a console and... Right. All the crates will be within that area, coordinate-wise, on your ship. You can go ahead and take that over whenever. No one's touching them. I'll make sure it's cordoned off so nobody loses any fingers. Well, whatever fingers are left on this crew down here.
Tell me this. Something you said about the crew using the stuff before they went towards that Navy vessel. What it is did they meet on that Navy vessel?
Oh, what they met on there? What, the Gribblies? The Crawlers?
Gribblies. What can you tell me about them?
Only what I heard from those that came back. Big, nasty bugs, filling the halls, yet, well, crawling over top each other, varying heights, sizes, cutting men into pieces with big pincers and melting them with acid. Lost a fair bit of crew there, a couple boarding parties worth, and then Jeremy's blew it to hell and we were gonna go back in when y'all showed up.
All right. Well, back to your task then. We shall be on our way.
Very well, my lord. He salutes and goes back to bookkeeping, his data slate keeping.
Asterius,
Yes, Helios.
let us try and find someone who can tell us more about this drug without giving too much of it away.
I bad, you're gonna run the sample through some contacts.
Maybe Aeneas might know something. He seems like a knowledgeable sort.
Yes, with any luck. Or maybe Lord Thorne.
Well, we should be heading back.
Are you ready, Darius?
I was born ready. This place gives me the willies.
Yes. Well then, perhaps we shall go.
Helios will touch upon his Voxcaster.
Bring us back. Our work here is done.
Understood. Hold present positions, my lords. Be just a moment. He cranks it up and you guys are brought back. We'll go ahead and do a little aside for Aeneas and Achilles since they're discussing things. Let me find a suitable backdrop for this. Let's see. Okay, so Aeneas visits Lord Thorne in his cabin.
Yeah, Aeneas is walking down the hallway outside the cabin, his metal staff clink, clink, clink as he walks forward, stooped and hunched. He turns and raps on the door with his staff. "It is me, cousin."
Achilles knows the metallic rap of Aeneas' staff, and before he even says it's me, Achilles says, "Yes, come in, Aeneas."
He touches the button to open the door and pushes through. He looks around. "My cousin, my lord. I've been studying the star charts. Ours are woeful for this area."
Yes, I know. The house hadn't had any chance to get good charts for this region. What do you propose we do?
"I wonder, my lord. I had spoken to the crew and they had told me that the Seneschal has gone to look at the cargo that we have acquired. I wonder if it would be possible that we try to acquire star charts from any means necessary here on Footfall. We need to spend some of our geld to do so. I would feel more comfortable in guiding us into the warp."
Aeneas. Any means necessary, yes. What do you suppose the Navy vessel has in the way of star charts?
It is hard to say. It just depends on where they have gone and what they have done. And we would need to acquire it from their databases.
Yes, and the bloody thing is overrun, but perhaps if we could teleport to the bridge, or wherever, I guess maybe to the navigator's chamber.
Perhaps. Considers. It is risky, but certainly the cheapest if it is successful. We would need the girl, the tech beast.
Yes. So out of character, where are we saying she is? Because otherwise we'd just summon her right now.
We could do it later too.
Yeah, I would say that You've actually not seen her for some time. She's been kind of going through the bowels of both ships, kind of interchangeably between the teleportarium, since she has teleportarium access now. So she just kind of disappears for hours
She's
at a
all over the
time.
place.
Yeah, she just kind of disappears for hours at a time, trying to figure out repairs and work out the situation. So I mean, there's
Working on something important. So we'll,
it's quite a task to find her.
So I guess maybe we'll table that notion for now. But we would get on the Vox and Asterius.
Yes, my lord.
Before you boys come back, get copies of the star charts from that vessel.
The star chart, you say?
And the warplanes, my lord.
Ah, yes, and the warplanes.
Right away, lord. We'll go there and get them and come back.
Excellent.
The crates of our stuff that we were talking about should be already en route.
Ah, wonderful.
If you wouldn't mind, maybe you and Aeneas could take a look at them, see if you could discern them while we get the start.
Yes, of course. So get up from his seat and walk over by Aeneas. Well, cousin, shall we go to the cargo bay and see what we've got?
I suppose. He kind of leans forward and begins walking out. He will head wherever his lord commands.
Asterius, where we lay about the star charts of Darius and Helios, so that way we could go get them.
Yeah.
Okay. From the you're gonna get whatever star charts and things are available from the Rusty frigate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and I guess you could try to access the computer banks to see what's going on with that. Okay, does anybody have tech use? Let's find that out. Okay, so that's 2. No. Mr. Khan, any tech use for you?
No.
All right.
I wonder if the warp charts are actually stored in a computer system. I'm just wondering.
No, I don't know that because typically the charts are actual charts, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
I'll tell you what. Does anybody have search?
Shit. No.
I have a 21.
I can't find my nose on my own face, apparently.
What about scholastic lore astromancy?
That would help with like the educational
Reading.
side of I'll tell you what. So I mean,
What about
there
scrutiny?
I have navigation.
Yeah.
I have navigation. Helios has
I would, because what you're trying to do is find him on the ship, right? So let's see what are some ways you could have the crew do it. You could, have commands done to search for it. I mean, there are a couple different ways, right? Typically, it's associated with search, but if you guys have other ideas for how you might locate these things, and
Let's just scare up the crew who'll get them for us.
you could do that. You could intimidate some crewmen to.
I can
Wait,
intimidate.
So we have an ally on the bridge, right? Warcool.
Right, Vorkul was appointed captain of the Rusty frigate provisionally by Achilles.
Correct. So we can talk to Warcool and see if he can have his men search for it. After all, he reports to Lord Thorne just like us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And since I have navigation stellar as checkmarked, whatever they bring back, at least I can look at it to make sure that it's actually star charts before bringing it to Aeneas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes.
That's a damn fine idea, Helios.
So before we actually get to the bridge, Helios will kind of stop Darius and Asterius.
He was a pirate, but no longer. He is now in command of the ship. While he reports to Lord Thorne just like us, we have to be careful not to undermine his command.
I think I know what you're saying there, Helios. What good would it be to his men to see two thugs like us, or a thug like me, at least, walk up and give him the good what for? No, that won't do.
Yes,
I'll cut you. I'll play nice.
I shall do. Asterius, use your silver tongue. Warcool, use his men to search the ship for star charts. I shall be no trouble.
I believe that when I see it.
Darius kind of breathes into his palm and smells it.
Is
Kind
it bad
Wrinkles
enough?
his nose. Wrinkles his nose and falls back.
So with that, I'm assuming they go on the bridge.
Yes, you proceed up to the bridge, and I believe you can see it at this point. So you proceed up to the bridge, and you can kind of see the commander's chair is occupied, and there are several men working the various consoles. Some of the floor still has old dried blood stains. Not quite old, though. Recognizable from recent combats, perhaps. But it looks mostly clean as Warcool sits in the chair, you assume.
Captain Vorkul.
He swivels around. Lord Asterius, Lord Starius, and Helios, for what do I owe the pleasure?
Oh, you know, just the usual. Taking a stroll, enjoying the scenery. You mind if I have a word with you, Captain?
Of course. And he kind of gets up and looks back. Let's make sure everything stays in bay. Don't take your hands off. Don't touch the controls. Don't take your hands off that console, helmsman. Walks down and... What can I do for you, my lords?
Well, we're under the assumption that this ship has been to quite a few places. Am I understand that correctly, Captain?
Not recently, but it has been to a few places whenever the navigator was still alive.
I don't suppose that you'd be able to get the warp lanes and star charts for us. We'd like to compare them to see if there's any new areas we haven't been to.
Of course. There was a lot of damage done to those components during the assault, but I can round up some crewmen to dig through it if you would like.
Lord Thorne would greatly appreciate it, so as would we. But these are your men after all, so we figure it best if you show them that you're in charge and put forth the word.
They didn't bend the knee to me, but I appreciate your concern about my command. I will go ahead and put the word out. Give me just a moment.
Very much appreciated, Captain. And although they didn't bend a knee to you, you're still the one that has to be with them and in charge of them.
By the God Emperor, I know that. And again, goes up to the box and he hits it. Attention, Section 7. Please send 6 men to search the old navigator's quarters and the navigation room. Please grab anything that appears to mark warp lanes. Those who bring back what I request will be rewarded. Thank you. He goes off the comm. And now we wait.
Hopefully the reward will be good enough for them to hurry. And again,
An extra day's rations. We must be frugal.
I suppose any extra is a reward in itself. So how are things going? The men, how are they getting along?
It is what it is, unfortunately, my lord. Most men here, well, I've chosen the most loyal men I could for the bridge crew, but some days I feel it is just shy of mutiny, held together tenuously by strings.
Well, hopefully in time they can see that they are better off here. After all, it is not our fault that most of their crew has been burned and killed. We would rather not waste resources as well. But now we can put that behind us.
Unfortunately, it is not so easy for them to do so. There are many lingering angers about what happened, not necessarily with the Lord Thorne, but about the attack itself, poor leadership of Jeremis not inspiring confidence. This has been coming for some time.
Well, in due time, I'm sure that they will see this is the better way. In the meantime, is there anything that you may think the men want to raise the morale? Or any prisoners that they wish to see disposed of?
As he says that, Darius kind of smiles.
Nothing that really has been reverberated to me. It's just a matter of angered circumstances, the loss of a lot of men all at once. The amount of repairs need to be reenacted. It's just many different things that all take time to recover from. Being on shore leave helps.
Well, you're going to be the first ears, I'm sure, to hear, if anything. Just remember, you're part of Lord Thorne's crew now. He treats his men well. If there is anything, all you need to do is ask.
For now, I just need to establish my command. Perhaps later. But for now, I'll try to manage the morale until it improves.
Well, hell, the same if you have any issues that you seem that you can't quell, deal with. Make sure to let us know right away.
Of course. He sees some beeping at the console behind him and goes to check. And It would appear they have located some information charts. I can give you directions to Navigator Bay.
Yes, that would do well. Unless you would like to come with us. Praise your men.
I will manage things here. I will let them know you're coming. It is one floor down off the lift. Once you exit the gravel lift, it is the third door on the left. You'll be able to tell because of the scorch marks, and it looks rather abandoned since no one used it after the navigator died.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate your assistance in the matter.
Of course.
This shall not be forgotten. Until next time, Captain.
My lords. He sits back in the chair and continues to look upon his bridge crew.
Asterius will look at Helios and Darius. Well, shall we go? Look forward to getting back to the Rose.
Indeed. Lead the way, Asterius.
I'll be right behind you.
With that, Asterius will go ahead and start heading towards the navigator's room.
Alright, so you guys head down there, and they do have the crew down there do have some paperwork and charts, and you can go ahead and look them over, Helios, if you would like. I know you expressed an interest in doing so.
Yeah, just maybe use my navigation to give a rudimentary quick look.
Sure, you can do that.
Okay, don't want to take navigate stellar.
Yeah, I mean, you're not sure. It could be. It looks written rather poorly, so you know that whoever this navigator was or whoever his assistant was not very good at keeping track of such things. But I mean, they seem like they're charts of some sort.
These look like star charts, but it is extremely difficult to decipher what has been noted. Let us take it to Aeneas. He is more skilled in these matters. But I do wish whoever was helping the navigator was alive. I would very much like to meet him and explain my displeasure.
Well, if he is still alive and on the ship, I'm sure that would be grand for you. However, I don't think it'd be grand for morale at this time.
Sometimes morale is helped by staring into the abyss. These crew believe that they have a better opportunity than their captain Warcool. I have found in my experience that men believe that there's always something better out there, not realizing the diamond that they hold in their hand. What these men need is a dose of Helios. Once they receive it, Warku will seem like an angel of mercy to them. But I do agree, it is not yet time for that, Asterius.
Asterius will look at the men who brought him the star charts. And what are your names?
And there's a couple guys there, and one of them is just like, "My name's Grits," and the other one just looks at him. "Clobber."
I'll be sure to tell your captain that you're the one that brought this information. He would be most pleased, I'm sure. For as Lord Thorne is pleased.
Oh, but thank you, my lord. Just kind of look at each other. Should we go back to our duties then?
Yes, straight away.
Very well. And it's kind of funnel out awkwardly.
Asterius will get on his Vox and inform Lord Vorkul who the two that found him. Grits and Clubber. Now, shall we return to Naeus?
Indeed.
Darius nods in the affirmative.
Helios reaches out to the Voxcaster.
Bring us back to the teleportarium. Our work here is done.
And just like that, brings you back to the teleportarium. And then we cut back to the captain's cabin. And there's a box up to the captain's box in his room. My Lord Thorne, the others have returned with what they believe to be charts. That's from the teleportarium guy.
Excellent. Have them meet us on the bridge.
They shall be there presently, my lord. All right. So you all convene on the bridge.
Go ahead, Sim. You have the chats.
Well, Helios says these are star charts, but what's noted is undecipherable to him. But the men have brought us these. I suppose you'll be able to make heads or tails of them, Aeneas.
He walks towards you, no longer holding his staff. You can see it propped up along the way. It doesn't appear to affect his gait at all. It's hunched over, as he always is. He rises up and straightens his back as he reaches for the... These are pieces of parchment, scrolls, I'm assuming, type of things.
Mm-hmm.
He takes the first one with both hands, pulls them apart, and begins to read. So if these are these warp or stellar charts I'm looking at.
Make a warp one.
Navigate warp then?
Do you have anything for that, like specifically, like Let's see. As
I
far as,
have,
like,
I have a
staying-
navigation or forbidden lore one.
I'm wondering if Forbidden Lore might be better, because that might be.
It probably is. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is, should be against the 46. So,
Mhm.
any modifiers?
No, a standard check.
I'll use a fate point to reroll.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty solid. 4 degrees of success. All right, so you're looking these over, and while whoever put the scrolls together was not the most proper as far as translating it, you are able to sift through their notes. This ship, the other ship, the Rusty Frigate, before it became kind of a stellar travel only vessel with the loss of that navigator, had been to a fair few places, and I'll actually show you on the Coronis map. So, you believe you've got some charts kind of out towards the Cineris Maleficum. I think that's what it is. Maleficum. The Cineris Maleficum. There's a few places they've been. There are a couple that are not noted here. They're kind of located, and I'll go ahead and put little circles where they are. Alt for ellipse. So there's a planet located here, and so there's not. So this one, Agri, there are some notes scribbled about it. When they arrived, it was mostly decimated already. There was quite a bit done to it on the planetscape, and they just kind of press ganged many people who were still planet side while leaving the others they didn't want there to essentially die. The green orb, they did not make landfall, they merely observed it. So they've been to those two places, as they note on the charts. They've also been to Damaris, of course, to Port Wander, and they did make a trip over to Rain as well.
Can you circle those for me?
Sure. Rain is down here.
Okay.
And then Damaris here.
Okay.
But those, so the Rain and Damaris ones are quite old. That was nearly 50, 60 years ago. Not that it would change that those, so it's a potential those lanes could have changed. But the Green Orb and Agri B, fairly recent, within the last 10 years. But everything else is stellar travel. Some nearby stellar routes which were marked as points of interest near Footfall, but that seems to be not so much warp as far as somebody else scribbling it on a piece of paper. It's not. It doesn't have the same grace as the other navigatory charts.
Yeah, Naeus takes note of it and just kind of he looks at it as if he's completely ignoring everyone else as he kind of takes it in a few times.
Yes, I can read this. 2 planets of interest, one in the winter scale realms, one in the Cineris Maleficum. My lord, Agri Forest 76B, and the Green Orb.
Kind of rolls it back up.
And also Order Warp Charts to Rain and Damaris. Not worth it if you ask me, those 2.
Winter scales. Will that get us closer to our trade route to Zeeth?
He looks, kind of walks over to the helm and pulls up the star charts and looks them over briefly.
Yes, Zeeth is in the heathen stars. We would be close. But we would need a warp chart from the Green Orb to Zeeth. Or else it would be a long journey, my lord.
Okay, so out of character again for a moment. If what we're looking for are physical charts, then do we have to have the tech priest to go look around the chart room of the Navy ship?
Nope. You do not.
Yeah, my guess is, and Ghost, you tell me if I'm wrong, that stellar charts would probably be more likely to be stored digitally.
Yeah, I would think that because stellar charts would probably be a lot easier for a computer to track. The reason that is because you got to think if you could track warp information on a computer, why would you need a navigator, right?
I would the way I'm thinking is like some archaic information, right? Some like bizarre alien math, essentially, of how to get there.
Yeah, like pretty much the way a navigator perceives the warp is unperceivable by other human beings, or else they just kill them, right? Because they're mutants.
Yeah.
So, that navigators exist in this universe because they have a niche, and no one else comes close to filling that niche. Whether it's through AI, just technology, no one is even close. So for it to be stored, maybe there's some place that can store navigator charts on the ship, but actually reading it and putting it into a quantifiable thing for a non-navigator is beyond tech at this point, I would think. And most charts are done via written scroll and parchment because that's the way a navigator best perceives them. So why would you make it any more difficult for the guy who has to keep you from dying to demons?
Well said.
Yeah, if you go into Naeus's warp chamber, you see on the ceiling a giant depiction of various sectors of space. Currently, the Cronus Expanse is the most important, and there'll be like all these hieroglyphics written in various areas as if they were straight lines or from one place to another. He takes that scroll and kind of pockets it.
Yes, my lord. We can get closer to Zeeth. The Green Orb, they did not land, it looks like. It could be filled with wealth.
Well, that sounds worth a look.
He nods and looks back over to Asterius. Were there other scrolls?
Not really. You kind of, that roll was kind of
Okay.
for all. Like you kind of went through each scroll and each one kind of, okay, this
Okay.
was for agri and that's for green.
Gotcha. Yeah. He collects them all and places them in a parchment holster, or whatever you want to call them. And he kind of steps back.
Well, we have more than we did an hour ago.
Achilles will gather his officers. So, what do you men think? Shall we risk a foray to the Navy ship to see what charts we can recover there?
I don't doubt that maybe there is some wealth of knowledge on there. I wouldn't look forward to tangling with what's on there.
Aeneas looks to his lord.
My lord, I would be the only ones to perceive anything of value. Send me, I will open my eyes and send all these Xenos to the void, to the warp, and destroy them all. You will not be injured.
Well, Achilles is okay with that idea, but he really doesn't like the idea of risking Aeneas. And cousin, these bugs could be creatures of the warp. Are you certain you'll be safe?
If they were creatures of the warp, we would already be dead.
Achilles has to sort of acknowledge that point.
Lord Thorne,
Yes, Helios.
Aeneas will not be alone on that foray to the naval ship. I shall accompany him as well.
Voidman, you will die like all the rest if you behold my eye.
Oh, I will not stand before it. I will stand by your side or behind you. I am, just in case things go bad and you need help to leave that place. After all, without a navigator, we can go no place. You are part of the ship.
He considers for a few moments.
Very well. You have been warned.
I have, and I wish to proceed.
You two have a care. I'll have my navigator and my voidsman back.
Oh, Lord Thorne, we shall be back.
As soon as the conversation started, Darius was kind of off to the side, cleaning all his weapons up. As it's likely a given that he's going to go along for protection. And from your left side behind you, Achilles gets this as he kind of slings his hell gun over his shoulder.
You weren't going to leave me behind, would you? Sounds like we've got some bugs to exterminate.
Brother Darius, I wouldn't dream of leaving you behind. As always, it is a joy to watch you work.
Achilles just chuckles. He had wondered when the armsman would chime in.
It seems like you guys have your work cut out for you.
Indeed we do. In the meantime, is there some preparation you can help with, Asterius? for parts for that ship. If we are to leave for the Green Orb, we will not be able to take her. Am I correct?
Aeneas nods. We need another navigator for that ship.
At the very least, maybe I could see if we can figure out what this cargo is while you guys are gone.
Yes.
Aeneas pauses, looks to Asterius.
Is there a way to get a schematic of this Navy vessel so we can teleport directly into the navigator's chamber?
There may be something, maybe on the pirate ship, or as we call it, the shit bucket now.
Pirate ship, no. I'm speaking that you need to talk to your contacts on Footfall. A Navy contact.
No, I don't have a Navy contact. But I'm sure maybe the pirates might know that, or the former pirates might know where the ship's schematics, because they, after all, attempted to board her. However, Helios has a Navy contact, if I remember correctly. But I could reach out and see if we could get something, but I would consider it unlikely.
He just kind of sneers.
If the criminals knew much about Navy ships, I imagine that there'd be more ships disappearing.
Guys, is this Navy ship like one of the big battle fleet type ships, frigates?
No, it's a smaller transport style ship.
Oh, okay, good.
I can bring up the.
No, it's okay. I was just
Actual
trying to get a.
Well, you guys wouldn't know that anyway.
idea.
Never mind.
Does common lore's Imperial Navy help?
Probably not with ship schematics. You might be able to guess at its purpose, as far as if you know of any ships in the area. But I mean, you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't.
Well, but if it's a common ship design,
Mm-hmm.
we ought to know about where the bridge should be, right?
Yeah, the bridge wouldn't be an issue. Obviously, all ship layouts can be fairly different, and there's not
Right, but
there's not an established standard for ship layouts either. With all the information that's been lost, you would know what the bridge is though pretty safely.
Well, making an assumption, and we all know what happens when you assume, but the Navy would go for efficiency, so one would think the chart room would be somewhere near the bridge.
Could be. But you also got to consider that ship was in a terrible state of disrepair as well, so you don't know what the situation is going to look like over there. Because it was badly, also, but unfortunately, Common Lore War wouldn't handle any kind of ship layout.
Well, now some of the pirates were over there, right?
They were in void suits, though.
Well, but maybe they would have some better idea.
Yeah, you could definitely.
Did they say that it had atmosphere in there or not?
You don't know. You haven't asked.
Okay.
I would guess not, and hence the void suits. But
Yeah, I mean, it's traditionally if you have void suits on, you're expecting to be little to no atmosphere.
Yeah, and they also bombarded it.
They did. They had it, and that was before the VODs you have are before the bombarding, and they did put a full broadside into into that ship from close range.
Well, patch the hull up, set off some bug bombs, and leave.
In that case, does it just make sense to make haste for the green orb and then find our way to Zaith.
Yeah, Aeneas is agreeing with that, thinking that it might be a little risky.
So as Helios is kind of listening to the chatter,
Lord Thorne,
Yes, Helios.
the more we discuss of this Navy ship, the more the returns seem to be diminishing. The profit factor seems to be dropping.
Yes, agreed.
How about we
Let's
turn it around? Since we know that the ship is infested, you could always reach out to the Navy and report you have found the ship. And for a little extra coin, give them a little information of what lies on the ship for them.
Yes, I believe that is our best play. Is to return the ship to the Navy and see how grateful they are.
Yes, perhaps we could ask them for assistance with the navigation charts and warp charts. Even
Excellent
promise
idea.
a small percentage of our profits. A very small percentage.
Yeah, well, they may even be willing to give us some good charts just to know where their ship is.
He bows to you.
You are wise in these matters. Diplomacy is
Kinda head twitches to the side.
lost on me.
So,
Darius kind of nods his head and says, "Oh, always looking forward to cracking a few carapaces. But I see the wisdom in this. I think it's the right move as well."
okay, so let's examine Helios's Navy contact.
Okay. All right. So is that going to be? Are you going to try to get into contact at Footfall with Navy contacts, or Port Wander?
wait, hold on. Navy,
Mhm.
Navy Did I say I have Navy contacts?
Yes.
That's what everybody's assuming, I guess.
No, it's just the Imperial Navy. I don't have the contacts. I
You
just
have
have
peer?
no peer.
Oh, you have lore. Okay.
Yeah, just lower. My
Ah,
peers are insane like me, so
Yeah, he has peer insane. So you need help with crazy fuckers, and that's your man.
yeah.
Okay, well, Achilles has Imperial Navy, so
Mhm.
that'll help us there.
So if you're gonna do it here, there aren't a lot of. This is a very weak naval presence on Football, for obvious reasons. So you would still to go ahead and locate a naval contact that would be of any value here. You would be at a -30 base
Well,
because it is
do
very
we have
light.
the communications capabilities to try and contact Captain? I can't remember his bloody name now.
Do we have an astropath? I guess is the question.
You do. So Footfall is, I think it's one sector difference from where Port Wander and everything is. If we're going by the lines there, the sector dividers.
Yeah.
So-
Technically, it's in the Calixtus expanse, right?
Right. So let's see what that is for communications, because I think there are different measurements for sending astropathic messages. So let's take a look here.
We just need another player to play the astropath. Come on.
I know, I was like, oh shit, no astropath, that's fine. That's alright. But then this comes up, it's like, oh, if only. Okay, so that is the Navis primer. So let me take a look here.
message in a bottle from a beam of holy light to the God Emperor.
Yeah, Helios just got out there with a mirror and sent semaphore.
Helios Khan performs Sting.
Tonight in the mess hall.
Yeah.
That'll
No
enhance
former
our
pirates
improved
invited.
morale.
Here we go. Okay, so it's actually in the core book. It's on 164 for astropathic signals. So, for a nearby system, if you have an astropathic choir, which you guys, I will go ahead and say you do have astropaths. Roll, we'll say 10 base. Roll me another d10 to see how many astropaths you actually have. We'll say 10 bare minimum. But roll me a d10 to see if you have more than just 10. 16. You have 16 astropaths. Somebody mark that down. That's important. So you're 16 astropaths. For a signal to a nearby system, which it is, it would take 1d10 minutes to send. It is a roll by an astropath with base difficulty of -10 to willpower. It will be a crew roll, so it'd be a 20.
Yeah.
And there's a chance for psychic phenomena to happen because it is a power.
Yeah, they're straight psychers, right?
Yep, they are straight up psychers. So this would be them. They would be rolling. They're gonna roll a phenomena table.
So they
If they hit a 95 or above, right?
Yes.
Can we use fate points on their roll?
No, because they are not players. They are crew.
Well, the other choice is we fly back, which is flying is
It carries its
my
own.
thing, but it's like difficult.
Mhm.
I mean, I say we give it a shot. We only have 5% chance of getting screwed.
Well, so if they push at, because their psi, so are they going to do it at their psi rating? Because their psi ratings are 1. You can have multiple do it at once, in order to meet because you would need at least 6 doing it in order for them to send the message, because they're all pretty weak.
Yeah, sure.
But they'd have to be at fettered rating, which means that if they roll doubles, when everyone is doing the focus power test rolls doubles, then it creates a phenomena.
I guess that's up to the captain.
Yeah. So there's, with anything. So let's see.
Well, I mean, there is inherent risk in both.
Mhm. I will tell you that it's not as difficult as it's a base -20, but there are 6 of them attempting to do it. So they're technically, the psi rating is 6. They're gonna get +5 bonus for each
I mean,
level.
can we have them all 16 of them do it? Would
You
that
certainly
improve our
could.
chances?
That would probably be one of the safer actions, because it would at least it would increase the difficulty for them to fail on the focus powers. With 16 guys, it's a psi rating of 16 if they're all fettered or all unfettered. So
I mean,
if I'm
might as
reading it
well. They
right.
ain't doing anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
May as well have a go.
So we'd cap it at +50, so it'd be trying to beat a 70, though.
Let's do it. Something bad happens, that's good RP.
Okay, so somebody who has access to the crew, I'll bring them out here. I think everybody should have access to the crew tokens, if I remember correctly. Let's make sure, eh?
I do not.
Oh no, they're not even in the journals. What am I doing? There you go. So somebody who has access, they're just going to treat him as the House Thorne creature. So roll. You should be able to see on their sheets. Roll willpower. You're trying to get under a 70. Any doubles creates a phenomena.
Who wants to roll?
Why don't you do it, Captain?
You're our resident telepath.
Achilles. Pater Patriae.
Okay, so I gotta find their sheet then.
Just shift double click on it. I like the plume.
Very regal.
I need one of those.
Alright, here we go.
You can always take one of their helmets. They're not going to stop you. Uh-oh. No, it's because it's plus it's plus, So,
okay.
That would be 3 degrees of success. Is it doubles? It is not. Okay. So, the choir comes together and sends a nearby sector message to Port Wander. What is your message going to say?
The guy was Captain Stern.
Correct.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so attention, Captain Stern. Have located missing Navy vessel. In the vicinity of Footfall.
Infested by bugs.
Yeah, I guess we probably should tell them that. Infested by alien
Non-sentient xenos or something.
Yeah. And yours, Achilles Thorne.
Roll me a d10 to see how many minutes it takes. Does that count as a nearby? I need to make sure this counts as a nearby system, though. This might have been more difficult, but I'm sure you would have still hit it. This might take longer if I'm wrong. Because technically nearby, a system is what Footfall and everything are. It's just those are the most prominent planets. I know I'm being a stickler for the Astropath ship, but this is fairly important. It's a nearby. It actually would have required all the Astropaths to do. Because that is a nearby. That is a sector. It's a subsector. I'm sorry, it's a subsector. So it would have been done. It would have taken 10 Astropaths, but it's fine. You would have succeeded anyway. Actually, roll a d5 for that as a subsector, because it's a subsector of the Coronis Expanse. So sorry, d5. I miscalculated it. Oh wow, better. So you all wait about an hour. An hour passes, I suppose, unless you guys do anything particular. That time passes eventfully, and then a message returns from what you assume would have signed off as the Astropaths of Port Wander, and it is a terse message received. More to come. Captain informed.
Okay, I don't feel compelled to reply to that, so I guess we will go about our business of repairs on the ship and wait for the more to come.
So
sell some drugs.
Yeah, yeah. I don't guess that we ever did that. Achilles and Aeneas were going to look at the cargo way back there.
Yeah, you can. So does anyone have trade chemistry?
No.
Oh yeah, right here in the rogue trader skills for level 1.
Here's my beaker.
So without trade chemistry, it's just your intelligence rating halved. You can roll that from your sheet for intelligence, and we'll just half it. And if you roll under it, then you pass. That could be close. That is, in fact. Whoa!
I got it.
Holy shit.
Here.
Whoa! Both of them did.
You guys just haven't gone to the right parties.
Guess not.
So for Achilles, it's just
We're
it's
in
just
science
success.
club.
For Achilles, it's straight success. For Aeneas, it's actually 2 degrees of success, almost, just shy of 2 degrees. So Achilles, you're aware that it's definitely an upper. I mean, that's about what you get from this. It's very much something that gets your blood pumping, gets you moving. Just from review of it and what's becoming communicated to you. Aeneas, you have come into contact with this previously. It was used often by the late older brother's bodyguard of your lord, of your cousin, in some of his assignments that Achilles' older brother sent him on. You are acutely aware that this is Frenzon. And what that is you don't know what this particular variant might be, but Frenzon is sort of generic slang for any kind of combat drug. And you know that it can make people very bold and powerful for not very great amount of time unless it's done in successive doses, but it is highly addictive.
What is the legality of it in the Empire?
It is questionable. In more upscale ports, such as not Footfall, while it might be in demand, it is not viewed. It's not looked upon well by port authorities. Typically, is confiscated. There are some situations where it may bring down sanctions or investigation by law enforcement, especially on ports where they have nothing better to do. They will go all in sometimes.
So Aeneas looks at it and, nah. My lord, do you remember Archimedes' henchman, his slag?
Yes.
He took this stuff. Frenzon is it called.
Ah, yes, makes sense.
A combat
Man must have been
drug.
unstable. Yeah, man must have been unstable.
Certainly. I would not take it back to Port Wander. I have heard of those being arrested for the sale. I would unload it here in Footfall.
Ah, yes. Well, we should talk to Asterius about just exactly that.
Good. Put him to work.
And so with that, we can go jump back to the current timeline.
All right.
Pencil pusher.
So the the repairs, as far as that's concerned, I know you're talking about moving on with those. So here you're still kind of in the same situation with that that port you were using. They still need more supplies, and you'd have to wait around. I think we rolled on was 2 to 3 weeks for them to get more supplies. And naturally, of course, you had levied the option of getting more. And yeah, sure, I guess if you want, but there is also still the option of the quote-unquote mechanicus that are here. They have not been used. And you're acutely aware that they could perform the repairs, though the trade for them will be something. There is a cost to be returned to them based on the information that Asterius gave you.
Can I ask a semi-related question?
Sure.
Is there any navigator houses located on Footfall?
Not that you're aware of right now. You can certainly search for them.
Because we're going to need a navigator regardless if this thing's going to come with us.
Yeah, no, definitely. Given Footfall's reputation, you're not sure what kind of navigator house you're going to find or what they're
Perfect.
going to be like.
Perfect.
So, just so you're
Because
aware.
they're not going to like me anyway if it's one of the normal ones.
Yeah, one of the fancy houses wouldn't be out here. It's going to be a no-name house or worse. You're not really sure what, though, until you look.
Yeah, Aeneas says to Achilles,
My lord, while the seneschal is doing his duties, I should look for a navigator for the ship.
That's an excellent idea.
With your leave.
are we docked or are we just kind of in space?
That's kind of up to you guys. I would assume you're just kind of hanging around in space while the frigate's docked, but whatever you'd like to have.
I
set.
mean, I can take the teleportorium. Whatever.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense for us.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can do
so
that off screen or whatever too. I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So you're going on your own, taking somebody with you.
If somebody wants to come. I mean, I wouldn't mind the help since I am a renegade navigator. Other navigators are probably prone to not like me so much.
Lord Aeneas, if you wish an escort down to Footfall, you need not look any further. Helios
Well,
will be by your side.
another navigator is a lot worse than a bug. And to be quite frank, I am disliked by most other navigators for my freedom. Away from their rules.
Well, if that dislike does become discomfort to you, then please let me know.
Good. I do not know what we will find here, but we must have another navigator.
I look forward to it. Every time I step into the void, I do not know what seeks me. Footfall shall be no different. I shall follow your lead. If what stands before you must be destroyed, then all you need to give is a command. Till then, I'm a silent observer of the arcane ways of your brethren.
Nods.
Very well.
He looks over to Lord Thorne for permission to leave.
Achilles nods approval.
Darius doesn't even ask any permission. Just stands up and walks over.
Aeneas collects his metal staff and begins to walk to the teleportorium.
So now, is there anything I can roll now that we know that the drugs are for their war?
Sure. Let's take a look here. I mean, 200 crates is worth quite a bit, but it does depend on your ability to find a buyer. So, you know, at the end of the day, if you're gonna try to peddle this at cost, at a higher price. I mean, it kind of depends on you what you want to. How you want to do it? I mean, how much are you trying to sell it for more than it's worth? I mean, it's hard to quantify a value right now. I'll tell you, it's a couple. I'll tell you what. Roll me a d5.
Oh, that was good.
Not for this. So this friend zone, after you understand what it is and kind of look at it, I mean, off base, you think it's pretty poor quality. Like, do you have evaluate at all?
I bet he does. Initial
Should. Depends on if you took it.
Yeah, I gotta evaluate.
Roll evaluate. See if you can make this look a little better.
Guess I'll have to do it off the sheet. I don't think it's in my skill.
It's okay. Really? It's alright. Oh! So, if you're being realistic, you don't think that this is worth much friend-zone-wise. But criminals and people that are rarely going to look at things from a realistic perspective. They're going to want things as soon as possible, even if it's trash, right? Or just your average person, military, merc outfits, things like that. You can upscale this. You can upsell it a bit. So in reality, in your head, this is worth maybe, translated to mechanical terms, 1 profit factor. But depending on if you locate a buyer, you might be able to upscale or upsell this to somebody who's in need of it for more.
Alright, that's what I would do. I would reach out and let the word be known that there are some friends on that needs to be offloaded.
Okay, do your
Hey, just
sure.
What was the original thing? The original mission to go to Zaith?
Well, the original mission for
Trade
Zaith,
route.
Trade route. So the Imperial Navy wants to get a trade route established between Zaith and Port Wander to upgun their ships. Zaith is a machine world. It's a war world, but what happens on Zaith, as far as you're aware, is that there are machine orders, which are kind of similar to what Umbria does, but they're not as well known. Their techniques are things that have not been studied, and they are not necessarily overly xenophobic. You get a chance before you get shot, but they're very wary about allowing people into their machine fortresses. It does not happen often. So
Okay,
it's a low profile but high value mission for the Navy. They haven't been able to succeed on their own, so they kind of hired it out to you guys.
Okay.
For Sim, go ahead and roll. What is a good one for this? This is trying to set up a deal. I would think this is either commerce or charm. I think commerce might sound better. Let me see what we've got here. Take a look. You're not bartering yet. I would say
I also got my pure underworld, and I guess common lore wouldn't help, but pure underworld wouldn't.
Pure Underworld would help. You're speaking of the Underworld. Yeah, I would say roll me. If you're looking for deals, I think commerce encompasses that. Roll me inquiry. Inquiry is what we're looking for. You're inquiring. Inquiry plus 10 for Pure Underworld. So you're rolling to beat a 64. Let's go ahead and roll inquiry on your or inquiry. Oh,
Jesus.
you can
Is it
always
fate
fate
point?
that.
Yeah, I'll do that. So that's a reroll, right?
It is a reroll, yes. Straight reroll.
plus 10, right?
Put your
Yeah,
ass
so you're
into
trying to make
it.
it 64.
Yeah.
Much better.
Okay, so you actually find a couple potential buyers on Footfall. One of them is kind of a ganger type group that makes roost on Football. They're able to, at least for now, match the price that you're trying to. I'm not really sure what price you're putting it out at. What are you? If we're talking in terms of profit factor directly translating to how much you have available, what are you trying to put it out for? You think it's worth 1? What are you trying to sell up to?
Oh man. If it's at least worth 1. I mean, I don't think I would have put a price out there and begin with. I think I would have just put the number
Just
of
kind of put
crates
the word
available.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now the gangers are going in at 2. You've got a merc company that happens to be on Footfall as well that is interested. They're also meeting you at 2. So right now you've got some offers for 2 profit factor from both of them.
It's hundreds of thousands. of gold.
It is a lot of money. I know we're quantifying it in 1 and 2, but if we're putting that in like technical terms for how much money's being offered, that's 1 profit factor could probably feed multiple peasants for the rest of their lives. So keep that in mind. This is quite a bit of money.
I'd probably want to lean towards the Merc crew, and then when I get there, see if I can get them to raise it up a notch or 2 to beat the other group, which I'm supposing that they might have more money than the gangers probably would.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely work to set up a meeting, and if you want to do that at some point, we can. So we'll table that for a moment, and then we'll do the Helios Aeneas thing. You guys trying to locate a navigator, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is trying to find crew, essentially. You're trying to find one person who has a particular set of skills. But one person, so he'll say Helios is assisting. So you can both make profit factor rolls, and let me see what we're going to look at for crew, because typically you roll for crew when it comes to what are you looking at as far as skill wise for a navigator? Like, do you want somebody who's just competent, who is a veteran? What do you look, because this kind of tells me what your skill rating is going to be for
Oh God.
and it will make it harder or easier depending on what you're looking for.
Well, I would look for the most qualified person I could, because a fuck up with that could kill us all still, especially if we're traveling together.
True. So what I would say is that because I know I spoke with Raven about this earlier. The way we're gonna do rolls as far as for navigation, because I'm gonna allow ships to kind of go in and warp together, because there's not a clear mechanic on it. Like,
Okay.
normally there's a fleet beacon that's necessary, but there's not a fleet beacon in this book, so I'm just pulling a slick move of hand wavium and saying that ships who coordinate together can enter the warp together up to 3.
Okay.
So
With like one lead navigator, basically.
correct, yeah. So like, the way that I think we decided it's going to work, and I'll check tape to make sure, but the way I think we decided it's going to work is that you'll take lead on rolls. Obviously, the better or worse the other navigator is could have an impact, because both ships are still going to get separate rolls for warp travel on their sides. Both ships are going to roll in the warp table rolls for like events. and they'll have to handle whatever comes up on their end if it happens to them. So keep that in mind. So they'll still have an impact, but you will be the lead.
But I'm the one rolling the navigation roll, so they should be okay if I'm okay.
Well, so you're the one rolling for the entering and exiting because you're kind of leading and directing.
Mhm.
Like we'll say there's kind of communication between your ships for that. But if it comes to something that they have to do on their ship, like their ship rolls something that's, oh fuck, we're about to hit a rift or something like that, like something in a warp, they and the helmsman will have to do it on their ship because you can't steer and navigate for them. Only they can perceive what they're about to go into.
So what's so base is 30 for, is that competent?
So looking at crew, for crew actions, an average crew is 30. That is considered a competent crew.
Jesus. Let's go for one step above that.
So you're looking for a crack crew, a crack navigator, rolling for 40s. So let's see how that translates for acquisitions. This is always fun. Acquisitions. Trying to find acquisitions here. Acquisition tests. There it is, acquisition. So here's what we're gonna look at for trying to find a crack navigator on Footfall. There's nothing set for this for acquiring one, but I feel this is pretty decent. So acquiring one, we're looking at navigators. Navigators are pretty rare, especially on this shit bucket, Footfall. So you got a -30 right there. You're looking for just one, so you can kind of comb around, ask about things like that. So that cancels that out. So you're rolling right now at base profit factor. Let's see. Helios helping you, I'd give you a +10.
What's our profit factor, like 41 or something like that?
It's on. It should be on your sheet. Somebody should have profit factor on the sheet. 50. You're at a base 50, so you're looking at 60.
Okay.
This is rerollable with fate.
Yeah, we'll reroll
Oh!
that.
Wow. Okay. So you almost, you kind of go through as many as you can looking for, just any kind of lead on it, navigator, houses. You go to several bars, more upscale joints, just anywhere you really can. You and Helios asking around. You finally kind of get a hit from one of the more upscale, quote-unquote, areas in Footfall. Of a local minor navigator house that has hired out some help here and there on Footfall to perhaps rather not great company, but times are tough, as they say. It is for a House Vogue that is located on Footfall, and they kind of direct you to where that house is known to be. It is in a very poor district of Footfall, which is saying something.
Mm-hmm. So Aeneas gives this information to Helios and Darius, if he's with us.
We are going into a poor section of this infernal place. Be wary. Might simply want our guilt.
And he attempts to make his way down there.
If it's guilt they want, they will get a dose.
Darius is nearby, is plodding slowly. As he walks past one abode, an old lady comes out to empty rubbish onto the curb. Darius just smiles at her. She squeaks like a mouse and runs back inside.
I must have forgot to brush my teeth.
Teeth?
Tooth.
Aeneas smiles. His teeth are black. Yeah, and Aeneas takes the other two into the rough part of the city trying to find this House Vogue.
Okay. Very good. Head down into a rather rough portion of the city. Oh, looking for House of Vogue, and you're in an area where you believe it should be located. As you're moving down the street, go ahead and RP a bit.
I do want to make sure, as they move along, Darius tries to keep Aeneas, especially, and Khan as well, though, within arm's reach. So he's not about to let himself be embarrassed again by letting one of his chargers become wounded.
Aeneas moves fairly slowly. It's hard to tell how tall he is, but when he stands up at full height, he's probably almost 7 feet tall. But he is often stooped quite a bit. Leans forward on his staff, and it continues to make this click, 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 click as he walks. His head swiveling side to side.
Darius kind of stops and holds up his right fist. It's humming with power, his very low level.
Oh, stop there. I sense eyes upon us. Something ain't quite right here.
And he looks to the left and to the right, and his gaze is searching the windowsills. He ducks to the front and looks down an alley, and to the back looks down another alley.
A couple figures come out from ahead. Buildings, and they do not look like they belong here. They are not in rags or tatters or in weak flak armor. They are in very good equipment, carapace armor, including the one who is rather detailed in his armor. He walks out in what appears to be full and very finely crafted armor and wielding a large weapon. The lad's variety, it appears, and it kind of steps forward and regards you all.
Aeneas switches his hand into his staff into his left hand, kind of stands up full.
Stand aside. We're on official business from House Thorne.
That is precisely why we are here. We would have words with you, Lord Odenathus.
Well, you have me at a disadvantage then. Who are you, and what do you want?
Melanius Nordus, contracted by the Navy. I mean to have words with you or your lord.
My lord is on his ship. I can speak for him currently.
What are you aware of in regards to a lost Navy transport?
We have the coordinates of it. I believe we sent an astropathic message to Port Wander to inform you, did we not?
So I have heard. I have been contracted to take that ship back. I would appreciate the coordinates.
Our seneschal will need to validate your identification and your contract, and then the coordinates will be yours.
Very well then. May I approach and provide you with my information?
You can, Helios, go ahead.
Yeah, Aeneas looks to Helios and kind of waves him forward.
Okay, go ahead.
Lord Aeneas, let me hand the information over.
He nods.
You there.
And he kind of approaches halfway and not pointing his weapon, but he is carrying it with him. It's rather large, and he shoulders it. Holds it.
Slate.
Go ahead.
This is the information you seek.
And Helios proceeds to type that into his slate.
He looks it over and nods and
You have my thanks. Give your lord my regards, and the Navy's thanks.
The Navy's thanks, you say. Just words for deeds. That does not seem appropriate. Would you be so kind to let us know who you were contracted by? The specific person.
That would be Captain Stern. I was contracted quite some time ago. We tracked the ship into this sector, but we heard you had run-ins with a certain group of pirates over a Navy vessel. All seemed very coincidental. Glad I followed up on it.
Pirates are the worst scum. If you do find them, kill them all, is all I say.
I have no worries there, friend. I've probably killed more pirates than most men have even seen.
And what is your name, so I may remember it, pirate killer?
Olanius Nordus, a bounty hunter.
Olanius Nordus. Very well. Please do confirm to Captain Stern that Lord Thorne was the one who pointed you in the right direction.
It will be done. And I wish you all the best in restoring your new prize to a working order. Puts the data slate away.
Helios takes a step back.
Well, since you're here and so well informed, tell me where I might find this navigator house, House Vogue.
Ah, the Vogue. Yes. He kind of gestures down the street. Down that way. You can't miss it. It looks mythical. She put bits and baubles all along the place. Says it sends out a peculiar energy.
Perhaps it does.
None of my business anyway. He kind of gestures towards his men and they proceed to leave. You do find that navigator house. It is nothing so spectacular. But you do approach, and it's a rather worn down shanty of a building.
Aeneas just approaches and swings his staff against the door.
Whack, whack, whack.
And you are answered. So I can drag the damn thing out. By a woman dressed in ornate robes that definitely do not match the house. Yes?
I'm here to acquire a navigator.
And he is obviously a navigator. Clearly.
I see. She opens the door. Come on.
Aeneas nods to the other two to follow him as he steps inside.
Helios will follow behind Aeneas.
Darius's head is on a swivel and follows in behind the other two.
So you enter, and the interior does not match. Oh, who did we lose?
Raven, maybe?
Oh, he had to take his dog out. Yeah. The interior does not match the exterior by any sense of any stretch of the imagination. It's rather ornate and beautiful in this place, though the exterior would not betray such. And she gestures for you to have a seat on some rather well appearing furniture.
Yeah, Aeneas just walks over, no longer using his staff to walk, simply walks over and sits down.
Do any of you desire any sustenance?
Aeneas just looks to the others if they partake in anything.
Helios shakes his head.
No. But I appreciate the offer.
Darius shrugs off the offers well.
Thank you very much, but not hungry at the moment.
Very well. And she sits down and says, "Let us get down to business then."
Yes. I'm looking for a capable navigator to serve as second to me on a second ship that we have acquired.
And she has a seat and kind of leans back in a chair and very well. And what ship would I be serving aboard?
What is it called?
The Rusty Frigate, unless it's been renamed.
And ours is the Thorne's Rose, right?
Yes.
Rusted Rose.
Um,
They call it the Rusted Root.
She raises an eyebrow. I see. Are you pirates?
No. We are emissaries of House Thorne. The ship that we have acquired was a pirate ship, but now it is ours and the pirates are dead.
Indeed. We don't look too kindly upon pirates.
And he kind of like preemptively raises his left hand, puts it across T. Lewis's chest.
Hey there. Down, boy.
We are a legitimate rogue traitor enterprise.
That would certainly be an upgrade to previous prospects. She kind of leans back and says, I assume that I will be paid well for my efforts.
Of course. We are a dynasty with a want of trade, not some pirates or bandits scrapping at the boot heels of their betters.
Very well. She kind of stands up and I would like to sign a contract specifically.
Of course. When we get back to the ship, I will have a seneschal write it up.
And where is your ship docked?
It is not docked. Your ship is docked.
gives her the location.
We have a teleportorium.
I will be there within the next day. I must prepare my belongings and my accoutrements. I'm sure, being what you are, you understand quite well what is needed.
Of course.
Should I expect to meet your lord?
Yes, I will present you to him upon your arrival. Tell the Captain Vorkal, and he will send for me.
Very good. Would you wish a name to present to your lord?
Of course. How could I write a contract for you otherwise?
Quite. I am Acelia Vogue, last surviving member of House Vogue, at least as far as I am aware. Not that it really matters, looking around at her surroundings.
houses are overrated. I believe that you can only serve one lord. And my lord is Achilles Thorne. No navigator house to berate me, to hide their secrets, to spy on your masters. Yes, I serve no house. I need no house.
And he stands up.
Is that acceptable for you?
It will certainly be an improvement upon my prospects. Was there anything further?
If you have navigation charts, we would pay for them as well.
I will bring what I have.
Nods and looks to the others.
Do you have any questions for her? Security matters.
Indeed. Listen and listen carefully. If you do accept this contract, know this. Loyalty above all else. Fail us in this matter. And you wish that you too perished with the rest of your house before you met me. Am I being clear?
And she smiles and just kind of leans back. Perfectly. But I must warn you, violent intent towards the navigator is unwise, as I'm sure you know.
Then Helios will come to me and I will kill you.
An auspicious start to our relationship. I feel at home already. Now please, leave if you would. I have things to gather.
He waves to the others.
It is only loyalty that my friend desires. Show it, and we shall be best friends.
And he doesn't wait for a response. He just
If Aeneas leaves, then Helios will follow.
Darius leaves as well and turns and looks at the new navigator over his shoulder, gives her a nod, then leaves.
All right. I think we'll call that services procured, and as we have lost Raven and it's been 3 hours, I think that will be a good ending point for this one, in which a navigator has been acquired and some plans are being brewed.
Alright.
All right.